So, Metroid Other M is the long-awaited, sequel, really, to Super Metroid. It's the Metroid Prime trilogy takes place before Super Metroid, made by different people. This game's actually made by the creator of Metroid, along with, Team Ninja.
Right.
And it's the first game to really give Samus... It's not the first game to give Samus a speaking role. Metroid, I think Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion both had Samus say things.
Right.
But it's the first game to really flesh out her character.
Was that supposed to be Samus saying that the last Metroid is in captivity?
I don't know.
In the beginning of Super Metroid, you hear a very static voice go, "The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is in peace."
Oh, I think that's actually...
Or
I don't think that's Samus. That might just be like a prologue thing.
Right.
But where was I? Oh yeah. So I don't know. I do know. I beat Other M. We beat Other M, right? You beat it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I even beat the last boss.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so did I. So Other M starts off right after Super Metroid, and immediately Samus is already kind of not the butt-kicking bounty hunter that everyone thought she was, which
Right. A lot of...
to me is entirely the entire point of the game. Is Samus isn't this person who you thought she was. She's actually a human being.
Right. It's helping to develop her character.
Right, and I know a lot of people got mad. It's like
Nintendo games with...
Yeah, Samus should be walking around and killing things while saying catchy one-liners, not grieving over the death of something.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, where's our sexy space bounty hunter? In your mind.
Right. And, so pretty much cut a few months later, Samus gets a distress call, goes to the space station, meets up, not on purpose, but meets up with a platoon of Galactic Federation soldiers that she incidentally used to work with.
Well, at least two of them.
No, I think she worked with all of them. When they show the flashbacks, it's...
Yeah.
They're all there. But mainly, Anthony Higgins, Anthony, remember me, Higgins.
Yeah.
And Adam, any objections, lady? Malkovich.
Yeah. That's another thing. I know I've mentioned this before, maybe not on air, but I remember the first Metroid Other M trailer having Remember Me, and we all racked our brains. We're like, who could he be? Was he in Metroid Prime? Oh, was it that one guy that died when the Ing showed up? Was that him? No, that couldn't be. And then it turns out he's just some obscure character that was never in any of the games. That was just a cutscene. Just like a conveniently placed cutscene to riddle our brains.
Well, see, when I saw that, I immediately knew that this was a new character, because most of the Metroid games don't have Samus interacting with other characters. And he wasn't in Metroid Prime 3, which is like the only game that has Samus interacting with other characters.
Right.
So what I figured was that this guy was someone from Samus' past and would explore her relationship with people before she was a bounty hunter.
Yeah. And
I was right.
Yeah. I hope Anthony is a member, or is in future games. Well, he's not in Fusion, so.
Yeah.
I like Anthony.
Anthony Haynes is pretty cool. Malkovich actually has his moments of kick buttery.
Yeah, especially at the end.
Yeah, but we're not going to tell you about that.
No, we're not.
The story for Other M, if you like, in a very Japanese sense, it's very character-driven. The plot itself is kind of, seems non-important in the grand scheme of the Metroid universe, but the characters...
Wow. At least
really,
two of them.
Yeah, well, just Samus, really. One of the things I never expected Samus to have was, parental issues, and
right.
Lo and behold, she has it, and it's believable if you know her backstory.
Absolutely. Although, it seems like a lot of reviews that I've read so far have a big gripe with this. Like, Samus should be a bounty hunter out shooting bad guys, not mourning over her daddy issues. I'm like, really? Her parents were murdered in front of her. I think that would screw her up just a little
no.
bit.
I mean, okay. This is always fun. I think we did this before, but we should just do it again. Like,
Okay.
the list of people Samus gets close to that dies.
Okay.
Her parents.
Ding!
The Chozo.
Bong!
Let's see. Then you have Metroid Prime, so you have Rundis, Gandrea, and Gore.
There you go.
Okay. And then you have Super Metroid, and then you have the baby Metroid.
Murdered right in front of her again.
Okay, and because Metroid Fusion already reveals this, eventually Adam.
Right. And she has to kill Mother Brain, who
Yeah.
she's somewhat close to, I guess, because, I mean, it was like the Council of the Chozo and all.
Yeah, Mother Brain was eventually corrupted
And
by
I mean,
the pirates.
Right, and she always calls her Mother, not Mother Brain.
Right.
So-
So I mean, it's like these are all the people that Samus gets close to.
Right.
I think she has no problem killing, space pirate Zuboff, who has a family that has to feed.
Yeah.
But he's a bad guy, so she had no problem with that. But she gets close to things, and they seem to all die.
Yeah, seriously, at that point I would have just locked myself in a room. Somebody comes in, Samus, you have to eat. I'll get it myself! Don't come near me! Samus, just let me in for a second. Go!
And
Spear comes through them. Why does this happen?
yeah. And again, it's not like I guess the reason why I can totally accept Samus being the way she is in Other M is because at the spoilers again, but at the end of Metro, well, we already mentioned who dies in Metroid Prime 3, but Metroid Prime 3 is before Super Metroid,
Right.
and she's totally mourning the loss of the 3 bounty hunters that she knew that or at least you knew for like 10 minutes before having to kill them all.
Right. Not only that, I mean, that was the feel of the game. I mean, what are the first few things that everybody says they love about Metroid that's different than other action-adventure games? It's, it's quiet, you're by yourself, there's a very claustrophobic feel, you feel on edge all the time. Not like you're this, this amazing bounty hunter who
Right.
takes names and, she's supposed to be this way. That's like
Right.
how they wanted her.
Right.
I think
And-
maybe in the future, once she's a bit more confident, should be different, but...
Right. At least in Fusion, I think she is. I don't think she's entirely the same way. She has grown up,
Right.
matured, I should say. But yeah, even in there are reviews that say that because Samus is with other people, it ruins the sense of being alone.
Oh my god.
These people must not have played Other M.
I think there's two instances where both you and AI characters are firing at monsters, and it's almost always inconsequential. Unless it's just to teach you the controls.
Right. Or to build up something for the story.
Right.
But aside from that, you are pretty much you have to explore this huge, space station, which is probably the size of a large city. And there's so let's see, there's 5 in that little platoon plus you joining them to be
What?
right.
You cut
There's
out.
I'm saying you're in this huge space station the size of a large city, and there's only 5 of the Federation soldiers, and then you to make 6 or something.
Right.
One of them doesn't, even go out exploring because he's at Malkovich is at the command center.
Right.
You all just split up, so it's you're alone most of the time.
Right. I mean, it's the mood is perfect. You're in this monster-infested, lonely space colony. All the while, you're worried, A, about your comrades. They're all fighting their own missions. And B, there's a traitor on board. And you're trying to rack your brain trying to figure out who it is.
Oh, and don't forget that there's something killing all the monsters in horribly gruesome ways.
Right. So, I mean, the feeling of uneasiness just overwhelms you. And then when you confront these giant monsters, it's just, the feel of the game is right on.
Right.
on top of the beautiful cinematic experience. I mean, this is one of the best. No, this is the best looking cinematic game on the Wii. I mean, I've seen games that try to convey stories. This is far and away, even though it's one of the shortest, the best. The best story on the Wii that I've experienced, at least.
Right. You know, I was always, when I was writing a review for this, which if you guys want to see, I can let you see it. It's on a different website. I was tempted to say, although I didn't, that if Uncharted 2 was like the Indiana Jones of video games,
Right.
then Other M is like the Aliens of video games.
That's a good analogy.
Like it has every element of like a sci-fi movie in it.
Right.
Okay, you mean you're alone on a space station. You have this advanced weaponry fighting against these monsters who can take a couple shots.
Right.
And it ultimately leads up to some conspiracies and some mystery.
Right.
So yeah. Also, the way it was done too, the way the cameras panned out at the right moment.
I mean, the camera was perfect.
Oh yeah, and I know I watched one of the developer documentary on the Nintendo channel, and they said they took that into account, like how the camera would pan out as Samus was running through a corridor.
Well, it compensates for the lack of a control stick. Some games take that for granted. Being able to move your character like so fluidly with a control stick that they don't even bother incorporating an intelligent camera.
Even then, though, it's they don't need to, because you can go into first person and look around.
Right.
They really didn't need. That was a really cool thing. They really didn't need to have a controllable camera, because A, you already have one in the form of looking around in first person.
Right.
And B, it creates a cinematic feel for when you're just running on a corridor and it pans out to show you like the entire space station as you're doing it.
Right. And C, you're using the D-pad. Even if you wanted to change the camera, it would have screwed up the control scheme. I mean, the levels are built so that you pretty much usually only need to hold left, right, down, or up. There's rarely ever an instance where you have to hit, diagonally. And if it is, it's because you're in combat and your finger is just like kind of.
Well, even then, the game makes so much use out of just a Wii remote.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, and other developers should hang their heads in shame
that this game hasn't come out yet. I mean, I'm excited to see what Nintendo and Team Ninja have to show for the future. I mean, This game sets some serious boundaries, or milestones, or something.
I'm glad they did it with Samus. This whole story-driven thing. Quite frankly, as long as they don't, do it to Link.
I was just gonna say, I'd like to see The Legend of Zelda take a turn like this. Maybe not in the style that Other M took, but I mean, like, I don't know. I think The Legend of Zelda needs to change a little bit.
I think it does too, but I think.
Let Team Ninja take it over.
No, I think we still need a character on who we can imprint ourselves on.
Right.
Mario doesn't really do a good enough job because there's not so much emotions running in a Mario game.
Yeah, and to tell you the honest to God truth, every time I jump off a curb, I don't go, whee!
You don't? Oh.
No.
Anyways,
ooh.
And it used to be, Link and Samus were the two characters who you can imprint yourself on. And that